This is the David Lloyd Tennis School at intersport.com. In this guide, we'll introduce you to the basic tactics for doubles. The tactics you use in doubles will follow many of the same principles as singles, but there is one very important difference. In doubles, every tactic is linked to the fact that you're playing with a partner, and if your tactics are going to work, then it's vital that you play as a team. Probably the most important stepping stone in developing good tactics in doubles is to learn to communicate well with your partner. You need to know what each of you is trying to do at all times and get used to talking to your partner before every point. It's also really important to support and encourage each other. Never get annoyed when your partner makes a mistake. This is a team game. You both want to win, and your partner will never deliberately make a mistake. Finally, try to be aware of where your partner is on the court. Make sure you move together so that your opponents don't get the chance to hit the ball between you. Now let's look at 5 key tactics in doubles. The basic tactics in doubles are the same as they are in singles. First, be consistent and keep the ball in play until you have a chance to win the point. It might sound like a really simple tactic, but if you don't do it, you lose the point, and if you do it, then you force your opponent to play it back, and they might then make a mistake, which means you win the point. Secondly, be accurate. Use the extra width of the doubles court to get your opponents out of position. The more you can spread your doubles opponents on the court, the bigger the targets you create for hitting winning shots. The third tactic to remember is to keep a good position with your partner. Firstly, you have to decide which side of the court each of you will play. If your partner is a left-hander, then it's normal for them to begin in the advantage court. Next, you need to decide who will serve first, and is usually the player with the strongest serve. Now let's look at where to stand at the beginning of a point. The server needs to be in a position about 2 meters away from the center mark. The court is much wider in doubles, and both you and your partner need to cover at least half of it each. If your partner is serving, then you should stand about 3 meters back from the net and opposite the receiver. This puts you in a great position to volley a weak return from the receiver. If you're receiving serve, then stand in roughly the same position as in singles. For the first serve, this is on or just behind the baseline and in the center, so it's possible to hit either a forehand or a backhand return. For a second serve, as in singles, you can move forwards for what will almost certainly be a weaker second serve. If your partner is receiving serve, then you should stand alongside them on the baseline for the first serve and then move forwards to the service line on the second serve. Or be on the service line for both serves. The decision about where to stand is based on the speed and the power of the serve, so it can vary from match to match and even server to server. Where you stand and move to during a point will change depending on whether you're serving or receiving, and whether you're moving up as a pair to attack the net or staying back to defend. Once the rally has started, every player needs to be ready to constantly adjust their position. If you and your partner can get to the net, you're more likely to win the point because you can volley down into your opponent's court. But you may also be alongside each other on the baseline. The most important thing to remember is that if, as a team, you play one at the net and one on the baseline, then there will be angles and gaps between you into which your opponent can hit the ball. Remember that the court is wider, so there are many more chances of hitting angled returns. Now let's look at the fourth of our basic tactics principles, playing to the strengths of your team. This may be playing angles or playing at the net, or having a good serve. Remember, it's about your individual and team strengths and working together to create opportunities to win points. For example, if one of you has a strong serve, then make sure you serve first. Or if you're both very confident volleying at the net, then try to create opportunities for you both to approach the net and win the point from there. Finally, make sure you exploit weaknesses in the opposing pair. It may be that opponents don't move very well as a pair, don't attack often, or have weak second serves that can be attacked. As you play, make sure you observe which situations cause them difficulty, and do make use of this tactical knowledge, particularly on pressure points. So that's the basics of tactics for doubles. Now you have to apply the principles you've learnt to your own doubles match situations to create an advantage. Let's recap. Doubles is a team game, and you and your partner must work together to beat your opponents. You need to communicate well and support each other, even when one of you makes a mistake. Think about your position at the beginning of the point and during open rallies, and always move as a team. The basic tactics of doubles are the same as they are for singles. Be consistent, always get the ball back. Be accurate, use angles to apply pressure and create opportunities. Keep good positions at the beginning and during points. play to your team's strengths and make sure you know what your partner's strengths are, and finally, exploit weaknesses in the opponent pair's game. So now that you have doubles tactics covered, why not watch the doubles tactics drills guide in the David Lloyd Tennis School at intersport.com. Intersport.com, the home of world-class sports coaching online.